Yeah, good. And let's take a look at the wild card situation. I have trouble keeping track of it in the AL because it seems like it's pretty crazy. But
both are really crazy.
But again, that's why I've been saying on this podcast and all year, I like the changes that baseball has made to the game. I think it drives a ton of excitement. It's amazing that, like, everyone's like, the Central's trash, the Central's trash. Well, like, we've got the most exciting division right now because you've got 6 games at Detroit. Every one of the 6 games is going to be like a playoff game. And it's not anywhere near the end of the season. And it's just going to be really exciting because even if the Tigers come in and I hope they win 4 out of 6, that doesn't really do anything to the wild card too much. All 3 teams are right in the wild card talk still, even if that happens. So, let's look at the wild card situation. American League is crazy.
It is, and I'd make an even point that they're not playing in any of these series, but even 4 of those teams in the AL Central are still in it. Minnesota Twins are still right there in that tight race. Everybody in that division except for the Royals is still playing for something right now. And in the American League, after the Red Sox went on that insane run, I think it's safe to say Yankees, Red Sox are both going to make the wild card, but the race for that 3rd spot is just a whole variety pack of teams that just Seattle was in the race a couple weeks ago. They've cooled off recently. Baltimore, all these teams who were ahead of Detroit now behind them by half a game or a game and a half. They have the games against Cleveland and Chicago. After that series, depending on how the results go, maybe Chicago could be in the wild card race and Detroit or Cleveland is sitting back atop the division. And the fact that those 3 AL Central teams, Detroit, Minnesota, Cleveland right now, are fighting for that last wild card spot with Texas, and then you could even throw the White Sox in there if you don't think they're going to hold on to that division lead. It's just insane. And even the Orioles, who has been considered a bit of a disappointment this year, are still only 2 games back of the wild card. It's not impossible for them. And even Seattle, who's also been disappointing, is only 3.5 games back. There's still lots of room for the American League wild card race for that 3rd spot because I don't see the Red Sox or the Yankees having an insane collapse or fall off. So that 3rd spot is going to be like a tight race through and through.
And two points about that. First, what does it tell you about Major League Baseball that there are teams with losing records in the wild card race in the AL? And then, let's start there.
So I think we've talked about this before. I mean, the 3rd wild card is very new, right? So like the old. First it started with 1, then it went to 2. I mean, so if you would say, okay, there's only 2, then you're looking at a team. Then you're looking at these teams are basic or not out of it, but it'd be a heck of a run to catch Boston at number 2. Who's 64 and 53.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, the fact that it's a 3rd wild card has really kind of thrown a wrench into a lot, and it's had a trickle down into, like we've talked about it before as well, just how teams handle the trade deadline, right? Because, I mean, if there wasn't that 3rd wild card, I mean, a lot of teams would have, like, if you remember old trade deadlines, it's like there's a lot more selling, because a lot more out of it, and the Tigers would have been included in that. So, I don't necessarily know if it says anything about baseball. I think that it's more about to your earlier point about how you say you like baseball, that the 3rd wild card in each league has really created a new dynamic.
Yeah.
Especially when you also consider that the trade deadline has been adjusted, right? Like, if you remember, because now you cannot trade, not even these waiver trades that used to be able to happen after August 3rd, or it kind of varies that Monday. Like in 2017, when Justin Verlander was traded, he was traded on August 31st.
How did that? Why
because they changed the rules where you used to be able to make waiver trades with current. Now you can make trades, but it's players that are not on the MLB roster, or going to going to play. So that's just another whole dynamic that, think about that. Like, if the Tigers could have held on to Tarek till August 31st, do you think they would have?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that have kind of culminated to it being this way. And I think, to your point, you're saying how much you enjoy it, and I think a lot of people agree because of it keeps teams in it. And like you said, if it wasn't for this week wouldn't be nearly as important as it for the Detroit Tigers as it is, or
I think
for the Cleveland Guardians, or for the Chicago White Sox. Whoever those three fan bases, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the most exciting things about baseball right now is the young players and the players that are hitting the league and making statements right away. And I think keeping them in the playoff hunt while they're doing amazing things just like builds on the excitement, and I think it's driving a lot of new fans to the game. But I just don't want it to be like the NFL. People are like, every team makes the playoffs, like 'cause I think half the teams make the playoffs. So don't add a fourth
that's like
wild.
that's more like the even like the NHL or even NBA, because like in the NHL, 16 of the 32 get in.
All right, well, don't add a fourth wild card spot is what I'm saying. I like what the
It used to be
three.
the old days in the NHL in the 80s, like 80s, went back like in the 80s, there was only 20 NHL teams, 16 got in.
Okay. All right. Well, don't do that. So, all right. So then, what about the NL wild card, which I've been paying less attention to, but I'm sure you guys have been paying attention.
I think the NL got a little bit more interesting because a couple weeks ago, I think we were almost thinking Chicago and Philadelphia were almost locks at those top two spots, the way those two teams are playing. And Chicago, I think they're still a lock at that spot. They're in a very good spot. They just happen to play in a division with the Brewers right now. But the Diamondbacks, they caught up to the Phillies last night and even surpassed them in the standings. They have the same record. The Padres are back in the race. They bought at the trade deadline. And even though the Marlins went on a really bad losing streak, they've won 2 in a row. They're still only 3 games back to the wild card now, and I don't think Philadelphia is as safe as everyone's thought they were maybe a week or two ago, looking at these standings and looking at these teams where they were in the National League. But I don't think there's as many teams in the National League fighting for wild card spots as there is in the American League.
Right. All right, good. Is your hardwood floor scratched, worn, or looking a little tired? Don't replace it, refinish it. At Functional Floors in Livonia, they specialize in existing hardwood floors, bringing them back to life, restoring their natural beauty and giving your home a fresh new look. Whether the floors are 10 years old or 100 years old, they can make them fresh and look great. If you're ready for something completely new, Functional Floors also installs hardwood, luxury vinyl, laminate, and more. From refinishing the floors you already love to installing something brand new, Functional Floors has you covered. Call Functional Floors at 313-356-3128. That's 313-356-3128, or visit functionalfloors.com to schedule your consultation. Functional Floors, no more boring flooring. All right, what do we want to talk about next? Just what's going on in each division. I know we've talked enough about the Central. I know we've talked enough about the AL East, but what's going on in the West and what's going on in the NL?
In the AL West, currently every single team has a negative run differential, and the Astros, Rangers, and Mariners, the 3 that are kind of in that little race, are all on a bit of losing streaks at the moment. The Rangers only lost their last game, but they've been playing well as of recently to get back to 500 and get that 3rd wild card spot. But with the way these teams are playing, it looks like it's going to be a Texas showdown between the Astros and the Rangers for that division. The Mariners have taken a 4-game slide and have kind of seen them fizzle out of the race a little bit. There's still plenty of games left, and the division's tight like the Central, but Houston and Texas are playing the best baseball in that division. The Astros have been there, done that. The Rangers are playing some good baseball. So I see those 2 teams in the AL West.
Yeah, the West is going to be a heck of a battle. The Mariners and Tigers both, everyone's been like waiting for them, and everyone's still saying like the Mariners are good, the Mariners are going to be good, and they're going to take that division because of their pitching and, Rodriguez, Raleigh, Rosarena, Naylor even. But they just haven't, and they've struggled. So, they have the best run differential is negative, but they have the best run differential in the division. But they've just struggled. The offense has struggled, and at some point you got to score runs, no matter how good your pitching is. We've talked about that.
And Raleigh has the biggest drop-off in Major League Baseball history right now, I believe. What happened? Is it an injury, or is it a mental thing, or?
There's a few things going on. I mean, there's even a few technical things that I've seen with him going on. If you look at last year, like when he's coming through, especially from the left side, his trail elbow, almost like just like you want in a golf swing or anything else, and he almost took a swing. His trail elbow was really close to his body, and there was not creating a hole in his swing. Right now, it's like there's this hole between his trail elbow and his body and his core that's really just seems to be creating a hole in his swing, or just not getting the power that he had last year. I mean, other than that, obviously he did get injured. Maybe that injury has something to do with that.
It was the oblique injury,
right?
That's the side that he's swinging on,
yeah,
keeping his elbow maybe out of it a little bit.
Right. So I mean, and it's tough. I mean, baseball's a hot. Man, so many people just say, "Oh, hitting." Like I can't even. I've never been a major league player. I mean, yeah, I played through high school and all this stuff. The best to ever do this game are a 30% success rate, and even less. Like it is immensely hard.
And it is almost impossible to replicate what he did last year as a catcher.
There was always going to be but I mean, it's just it's so hard. I mean, especially with how hard and what these pitchers do now. Like, you know, and it happens when you get in a rut in the middle of 162 every single day and are behind the plate. Man, it can be a tough hill to climb.
And so if you can spot that without ever going to see a game, or maybe only one or two, or spot it from TV.
I'm a nerd. I watch a lot, but yeah.
I'm sure they've got AI models and they put all his body movements and all sorts of tests and everything. Like, they must know this better than you. Why can't he just fix that?
I don't know. I mean, I could say this. I mean, I guess I'm not a professional golfer. I could say the same about my golf swing. I know there's some flaws, and I just sometimes it's like, why can't you do this? And you just don't do it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, it's like these habits. These habits creep in, and it's like, and then you. I mean, it's just repetition, and even like you think if the injury isn't 100%, it could have something to do with it, where his body isn't just allowing him to stay connected. Through his swing because of the injury, and it's just something that that is going to take time and have to rest it. But obviously, he's not going to now. I mean, they have to have him. So, and
he's their everyday catcher, right?
Yeah, and I mean, he's like, who else you can? I mean, they don't have anybody that's going to theoretically be better than Cal Raleigh because he's good. I mean, he is good defensively too. And in the catcher, I think a lot of times, not I'm saying like overall, that is very much lost on the catching position. Like you hear any catcher or manager, they say, what is the catcher's first job? And it is managing the staff and making sure that the pitchers are confident and comfortable with them calling the game for them.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, because I can't even tell you what goes into a catcher, major league catcher's everyday duties with just knowing every single opposing hitter that they're going to face, and then knowing his own staff and knowing their strengths and weaknesses to know the game plan for every single pitch that is going to be thrown in a Major League Baseball game.
That's wild.
And like, like the film and everything, like, and then like knowing, I mean, think about it. Pitch thrown, catcher, okay, because we got Julio Rodriguez up, we got Tyler Holton on the mound. This means we need to throw the slider because this, right? Like,
and now they have to challenge pitches.
Exactly, that goes on
even
in
more complicated.
5 to 10 seconds max. It's insanity.
And a major reason the Giants lost that game yesterday is because they messed up their challenges. And the catcher is
we were talking about
responsible for that. And you could the announcers, I think it was Dan Dickerson, said at least 10 times, oh man, if only they'd had a challenge or whatever. It changed the game.
And you just brought up a good point that I didn't mention. 100% now you got the catchers having to worry about, do I challenge or not?
Right.
And on top, then they process, okay, what's the next pitch? I mean, I couldn't even imagine doing that.
And they have to be very good at it. They can't just randomly say, let me take a shot at this challenge, because I think there have been games this year where the teams have lost their challenges in the first inning or the second inning, and now they're playing 7 innings against an opponent who has challenges, and it changes the game a lot.
And it absolutely did yesterday. You were talking to me, and I said, like, this is old school. This zone is all over the place, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Right.
It got to be old school.
I know, watching all those pitches miss the zone yesterday, and there's nothing you can do about it. We're watching them be called strike every time. It's
right.
Well, I sent him a Facebook message saying it looks like the ump has a hot date. He's got like a dinner date. He's got to get out of there.
Right.
He's like, oh, this team's out of challenges. He's just calling strikes. But I mean, when that happens, you need to respond by getting your bat off the shoulder, like you said. And the Giants couldn't do it and didn't do it. And so that's why the Detroit Tigers won. Also, interestingly, the Giants forgot that they get another challenge in extra innings. And so they blew that up. They blew that too.
Right.
Because they didn't challenge what they should have done in the extra innings. Okay, so the last specific team I want to talk about is the Rangers. They seem to be a pretty good team this year. What are they doing right, and how do they find a playoff spot?
I mean, with the way the American League is right now, they're only half a game back or a full game back of they're half a game back of the Astros. They're in that third wild card spot right now.
Oh, they are in the third wild card spot. Okay.
Yeah, they surpassed Cleveland, Minnesota, and all of them. They're in that third wild card spot. They're only half a game back in their division. They've just been playing some good baseball. Josh Jung, Jock Peterson, they've all been having a couple of really good seasons, and Ezekiel Duran, the shortstop, Brandon Nimmo, the right fielder. They've been. I really couldn't tell you what it is, because it just seems like they've come out in a division that was supposed to be Seattle's this year. And Houston, who they know they've been there, done that. They've been to the playoffs before. They're probably the best team in that division right now. But they're right up on Houston, and they have a prime opportunity to catch them.
Do they play Houston and Seattle down the stretch, just like the Tigers are playing Cleveland and the White Sox a lot?
I believe they do. Let me pull up the schedule.
So one thing for the Rangers is that, when they scoring, I know this is going to sound obvious, but just because their offense necessarily hasn't been the greatest, scoring runs is a big deal for them. They've won 4 out of 5, and in 3 out of 4 of those wins, they've scored 5 or more runs. So and I know that sounds obvious.
No, but if the Tigers had scored 5 runs every game in May.
Well, it's not even necessarily 5. It's just a lot of times because they have good pitching, they have a pretty good bullpen. It's just they've only they'll have a good shot when they score. Even they don't necessarily have to score 5. That's not realistic. But even when they get to 3 or 4, they're usually in a good position.
What's the average of runs scored per game?
They are the average.
Yeah.
Normally around 3.
Yeah, really.
It's I know it 3, maybe 4. The top scored is 557 in the American League, 60, in 100 in 120 games ish.
Yeah.
120 games.
Did you get an answer to my question about does Texas play Seattle and Houston down the stretch?
They have one more series left with Seattle. They are done with Houston on the schedule. So that is whatever happens to Houston in front of them is all in Houston's hands. They do not control that.
Yeah, interesting. All right, well, time to wrap up around the bases with Josh and Hunter. Any final thoughts about the baseball season, guys? I know it's going to be an exciting week.
It's going to be a crazy. We talked about the wild card. Not just the Central. It's going to be a lot of kind of just crazy finishes. The West is going to be a crazy finish. Both wild cards are going to be crazy finishes. You got in the AL, like we talked about, a lot of teams close there in the AL wild card, NL wild card. You got all of a sudden close races.
Yeah, good.
And I can't believe the Tigers are in this spot after the trade deadline again. It seems like after what happened in 2024. Very important week for them.
What would have happened if Verlander was healthy, Job was healthy, Olsen was healthy? I don't really understand what would have been.
Probably leading the division by a good bit, and
right.
They have the best run differential in the American League, and they are not even in the playoff.
I mean,
not even the wild card or leading their division.
Every team could say that, though.
To trade away that for $10,000 in an envelope, it's crazy.
So,
but I know the pressure.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. There's a lot of coulda, shoulda, wouldas with the Tigers. I mean, especially when you talk about health in May. But this week, and then so in the as far as the Tigers go, this week obviously because it's Cleveland and Chicago, who right they're in the dogfight with. But another series that I think is going to kind of define this, the rest of the way for them is the August 24th. That week they got the Rays at home, and then somebody in the Dodgers come back to town. So like that, and that's at home, 6 games. Like, that's going to be they got to. I mean, I agree. 3 out of 3 would be fine. As of this second, I mean, it obviously depends on what they do this week. I also agree. I mean, you have to be realistic. Like, you can't just expect them to win every baseball game. It's hard. You're not you just not.
I think they can take 4 out of 6 at home.
4 out of 6 is the goal. 5-1 would be great, right? I always say winning series. Like you hear a winning series, and that week against Tampa and the Dodgers, I'll just say that now 3-3 would be very good.
So at the end of the week, if the Tigers take 4 of 6,
they'll be in a very good spot.
They're in the first place in the division.
It depends on what the White Sox do, because the White Sox have their own other series before then. But they'd be in a really good spot.
They play Cincinnati. I think they're probably going to win that series, if not sweep. I would think that they, because Cincinnati lost some guy like.
I've been calling the White Sox. I've been calling the White Sox drop off though all year, and it's not happening. I think it could still happen.
They've struggled a tad. I mean, like they're 5-5 in their last 10, and that was with 2 wins in a row. They lost 4 straight last week. Like they lost 2 straight to the Red Sox, 2 straight to the Guardians. I mean, I'm not saying they've been horrible, but like they've helped a little bit. Hopefully the Reds can play well, but I'm not necessarily confident in that. But we'll see.
It's going to be an exciting week. It's going to be an exciting rest of the year. And that's Around the Bases. Frenetic Pace, Frenetic Base Sports, freneticpace.com. We have our store open on our website. We just made a bunch of changes to the website, so check it out. And we'll talk to you again soon.